And now, it's time to meet our studio guest. Long ago, journalists invented the age of satire, which never changed anything very much. But the women comedians of the 80s really have changed the attitudes of a whole generation. The woman who led the way, and who is still leading the way from far in front, is here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, Victoria Wood. Victoria, what have we learned tonight? Did you enjoy Hef and Kimberly's wedding?
I loved Hef. I loved Kimberly even more, and I loved the vicar, the best of all. The vicar's my big favourite. I think he looked like some sort of a molester. I would not like to be sat on the inside seat of a coach going from Gloucester to Newcastle with him next to me. It was the way he was sort of going around the audience, well, not the audience, the congregation sort of rally. He was like the entertainment manager at Pontins. I couldn't believe it, because when he was asking people to join in, you couldn't do that in this country, because people would not join in. English people are so inhibited. I mean, you know, when you go to a posh dinner and they do the loyal toast and they go, "The Queen, God bless," and everybody goes, "The Queen, God bless." And Kimberly, what was Kimberly wearing? That thing around her head, I thought, well, she's had major brain surgery. And that's to stop her banging into the wall. And then I thought, no, with a brain that small, probably not worth operating on, really. And then I thought, listen. And then I thought, what, that thing on her head, it was probably a veil, probably cost $450,000 made by 3-year-old Filipinos. But it really looked like she'd caught her head in the kitchen window on her way out through the back door. They looked like net curtains. They probably don't have back doors in America, do they? I don't know what sort of wedding preparation she had. I suppose she didn't have people saying, "Uncle Albert, come out to the toilet, Kimberly wants to go." Probably not like that. Not like that, not like my wedding. Wouldn't be like that.
What was your wedding like?
Well, it was similar. It was similar to that. Except it was in Lancaster. And it was at 10 to 10. It was supposed to be at 10 o'clock, and we turned up at 10 to 10. And she said, "Oh, well, do you now?" And we were having spaghetti on toast by 2 minutes to 10. That's what sort of a service it was. And I told a woman journalist, well, she wasn't a journalist, she was the woman who wrote the bits in between the knitting patterns on Woman's Weekly. And I said to her, and we came out and had spaghetti on toast, and she said, "Spaghetti on toast isn't a meal." She was posh, she said. I've trouble with posh people. I did a chat show once with, it wasn't like this, there was no laughs or anything, it was with Diana Quick from Brideshead Revisited, and she kept asking me very difficult questions like, why am I obsessed with the harsh underbelly of existence? And I was going, you know what, I don't know what you mean. And at the end of that, when they have that terrible thing called hospitality, where you have old sausage rolls, and this woman came up to me and said, "You talk like that on purpose?" I thought, believe how rude people can be. So anyway, we had a very nice wedding. And
were you dressed like Kimberly? You have a sort of...
Not very similar. And speaking of Kimberly, what was she doing with her hanky? Because she kept dabbing and poking and then holding hands with you, and it had disappeared, so she must have palmed it somewhere. I suppose on the wedding night she would take her dress up and about 87 crumpled old snot rags would fall out. Now I was dressed, well, my clothes had got stolen the night before my wedding. Wedding, I say wedding, I don't know what to call it. I suppose it was a wedding, really. It was really a preamble to spaghetti on toast. My clothes had all been stolen from my car. Don't park your car in Manchester. And so I had to get married in the costume that I was wearing when I recorded a play the day before. Thank God it wasn't a costume drama, or upstairs, downstairs, and they were ordinary clothes. It was a bit upsetting. And we didn't have a video. We had some photographs which Geoffrey left on the train. So we haven't even got those anymore. But it was a good laugh. And we had a 2-day honeymoon, which we spent sitting up in bed, eating sweets, watching television. It was great.
What do you make
of the... We're divorced
now. What did you make of the Japanese dating show?
Well, I find that slightly more tasteful than the one we have in this country, I suppose, really.
Blind Date.
Well, yes, if I have to name names, Blind Date. Because the thing about Blind Date, I think it's all really... You can join in on this if you feel free. It's all about doing it. Are they going to do it? That's what everybody wants to know. And I just find that offensive, because I think it's like a quiz show with no prizes, Blind Date. I mean, they come on and they do all that sort of terrible badinage that's been written for them by 18-year-old researchers with purple lipstick, and they do all that. Which is why they could never do it with dogs, because dogs wouldn't be able to learn the lines. But they do all that, and then they don't get anything. I mean, on Busman's Holiday, they get the holiday. And on The Price is Right, you know, they get the wicker laundry basket and the solarium. On Blind Date, they don't get anything. They get a day out round Whipsnade Zoo with a stills photographer. It's like the sexual equivalent to the blankety-blank checkbook and pen. I think they may as well come clean, stop all the smutty talk. They should just go on naked, and they should get into bed and they should just do it. And Scylla should watch them. and assess their technique with the help of the studio audience. And then if they get on, they should go around whipsnades. Because that's much more of a test of a relationship than having sex, I think.
What happened on your first date?
My first date? Well, I didn't have a proper boyfriend until I was about 15. Somebody exposed themselves to me a couple of years earlier than that. But it wasn't what you call a serious relationship. And, no, I think he was called Vince, my first boyfriend. He wore a teddy coat. It was like a teddy bear's fur. And he put his hand down my dress in the pictures to about here. And he said, "You've got a beautiful body." I thought, well, how stupid, because I don't know what bodies he'd seen before, but mine was nothing to write home about. I think he must have seen a tortoise or something. And then I had another one after that called Brett, who had green teeth. And that, we didn't kiss much. It was more of a sort of chip-eating relationship. And he said to me, I bet you'd be really great in bed. And I said I wouldn't be, you know, because I'd be asleep. Either that, I'd be watching The Golden Shot over his shoulder. And then I had a proper boyfriend after that. No, I would. I had a proper boyfriend for 4 years. I went out with this boy, and after 4 years, and I was quite old, about 20 by this time, he turned up for the weekend, and he said that he'd fallen in love with another girl. She's actually an actress now, but I won't name names because she's been in the Bretts, and I think she's suffered enough, so I won't say anything. And he said he'd fallen in love with her, and he was going to go off with her, and I was doing something to his trousers at the time. Well, I'll just explain what that was. It was not a sexual thing, it was a needlework thing. You remember when flares were in, the era of the loon pants?
Oh, I wore them.
If you had, did you? Well, you've not got them on now. If you had straight trousers and you couldn't afford to pay $1.99 to get a pair of loon pants, you used to insert triangles of material into the bottom, you see. And I was doing this for him because being a woman and women do sewing. And he said that he was going off with this other woman, and instead of me spitting on these triangles of material and throwing them into the nearest skip, I carried on sewing them, and I sent them to him in a parcel. And I thought, well, he'll be so touched and moved, you see, that he'll chuck old actress face out the window and come back to me. And, hello, she's nice, really. And, no, I've worked with her since, she's lovely. We had a good talk about it. And I sent these up in a parcel, and nothing happened for months, except then he sent back a postcard saying, "Received your parcel, Jeans V. Poor." Couldn't even be bothered to write very. Can you believe it? I was well out of that, I feel.
You're a mother now. Before the baby came, did you watch TV programs about childbirth, stuff like that?
No, because, I mean, the antenatal classes were such a hoot. No television programme could possibly have matched up to them. Because everybody there was very, very posh, and they were all very, very thin. I'm very thick, I have to say. And there was a woman came in one and she said, "My baby's lying sideways." And the nurse said, "Oh, yeah, because she's really bored, this nurse, and she hated all doing it." And she said, "It's all right, ask the doctor next time you see him, and he'll have a look and see how it is." And she said, "Oh, what will he do? Look up the birth canal?" Yes, it's turned round. I watched a lot after she was born, though, because when I was breastfeeding her, I just used to put the television on because she used to feed for about 23 hours out of 24. And, you know, Derek Jameson did Paul a little bit of a morning. So I used to have all the daytime programmes on, and they were a hoot because they have a real sense of danger, you know, because they're all live and you never know when somebody's going to get poked in the face by a microphone on a discussion programme or something. And there's at least two, because you can swap between ITV and BBC and you'll always see the same person flogging the same thing, like John Frieda popped up endlessly with his hair wax. Every time you turn on, he's going like this to somebody. There's about two where they've got plate glass windows facing onto the street so people can walk by. And that's always, I love it when you see someone knackered old novelist trying to flog a book, and there's two women with their noses up against the glass. Is it Anna Rayburn? Who is it? I don't watch them now. Now I've got a proper job.
Did all that heavy breathing stuff that you have to practice, did that come in handy on the big day? Did it?
No, because I got strapped to the bed. I had a technological birth, you know. The best thing was we had television in the delivery room, and we watched the synchronised swimming because it was the Olympics and it was on in the middle of the night. And that really takes your mind. It's better than an epidural watching So that got me going, that kept me through.
It was a posh place, was it?
Oh, well, it was, I have to say. It was one of the... I didn't know it was. I only went where Julie went, you see. And I didn't know she'd gone to, the Fergie suite.
Fergie?
Yes.
Fergie?
Yes, Fergie, yes. But the bed was still warm. I was there the Monday.
How could you tell it was Fergie, though? Did they have a little sign on say Fergie was here?
No, there was a couple of red hairs under the pillow. No, but it's so expensive. I mean, I knew it would be expensive, but I didn't know it would be so expensive. You know, because you pay per night, so many millions of pounds per night, and then at the end you get this huge bill saying Elastoplast, 85 pence, and we look through the window, £3.50.
Well, talking about royalty, which we were,
Yes.
did you watch the Royal Variety Show?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was much better than usual because it seemed a lot shorter. No, but I mean, I was in one 2 years ago, or 3 years ago or something, and it went on for hours. It seemed to go on for about 2 days. And poor old royalty, they can't leave, and nobody else can leave till they've left, so you've all had it, really.
Well, Victoria, we have to stop there. I wish we didn't, but I have to say thank you very much, Victoria Wood.
Thank you so much.
We have to stop there and go straight over to Los Angeles and the